Oh, yeah. What's up, solutionaries? Welcome. We on, what's today? Hump Day. Hump Day. Welcome, solutionaries, to the Maj 2 Ratio, where we talk about politics, pop culture, sports. Everything that we talk about going to lead you to a solution. Otherwise, we ain't talking about it. Appreciate y'all. Y'all know the routine. Come in, tell me where you from. Communicate in the chat. Let's engage. We don't do the Hollywood shit over here. Okay, tell me what city you in. Tell me what platform you watching. What you're watching from. If you're watching from X, formerly known as Twitter. Okay, if you're watching from YouTube, if you're watching from Facebook, whatever, Rumble, don't matter. Let me know. Jaded Soul, St. Louis, what's up? I see you watching an X. Leonardo Gonzalez, no classified info went out. Okay, X. Leonardo, you jump straight to it. Tell me where you from, Leonardo. Damn, like damn, y'all. Got 41 folks in the chat so far or watching so far. Make sure you hit the like button. Y'all know these algorithms like they like egos. They like your girlfriend, right? She like an ego boost here and there. Okay. Leonardo from San Diego. Appreciate you, Leonardo. San Diego's beautiful. One of my favorite movies of all time is set in San Diego. Y'all know the movie, fucking Anchorman. Anybody from San Diego knows that. If somebody says my favorite movie is going to be San Diego. Eli 80 over there, what's up in Chicago? YouTube, what's going on? Craig Butler, Philly, watching on YouTube. It's wonderful, wonderful. Listen, I want y'all to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell folks to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And you guys can help out a whole lot. Two things. One, share the space all over the place. Whether you're watching it on X, whether you're watching it on Rumble, whether you're watching it on Facebook, YouTube, just copy the link, share it, put it on Twitter, put it on Instagram, put it in your stories. Help out, let people know. Craig Butler says, do I still have the shop on 29th? The Solutionary Center. Absolutely. Speaking of which, we are still trying to make sure that we are fundraising to buy the building. So throughout tonight's show, as with every night, we try to get everybody to support the work at givesingo.com/solutionary. So we try to do two things. We try to give 10 folks to give $20 in a super chat, which is $200. Obviously, you guys can do math. 5 shows a week, $200 a night, $1,000 a week going towards the work. So you can super chat if you're watching on YouTube. Please do it that way. And if you are supporting in any other way, please give to the Give Single page. I think we need like maybe 70 more donors at the $100 level, maybe like 70 of them. And then we hit a benchmark. That's our next benchmark. We try to do this a little bit at a time. Every donor over $100 gets access to a Solutionary non-membership. That's workout routines. That's shooting drills. We come up with your macros. We find out what your macros are. We come up with a meal plan for you. You get access to all of the online classes, and including the ones in the future. That $100 donation, instead of you just buying a Solutionary membership at solutionaryuniversity.org, that $100 donation to givesingo.com/solutionary, I just give you a membership. And so it's one hand washing the other. Help us buy the building, guys. That community center. Craig, you been past there before, Craig? So on 29th, you've been past the Solutionary Center. Let me know. But again, guys, we're going to talk tonight about this CIA signal chat leak and exposes what some say is a major controversy. We're going to read a few of these and we're going to get some perspective on it. I got a few different articles. This one right here is from Yahoo. This article that y'all see on the screen right now is from Yahoo, but I got one up here from a re-up from Yahoo, like an additional article, and I got one from Fox News. But we're going to definitely bring that up. Craig Butler says, bro, thanks for being in the community. I'm from the area and you're needed. I appreciate you, Craig, for that. Guys, y'all see what Craig talking about. See, this ain't artist renderings or AI generated images, okay, of the Solutionary Center. It's not. That's our actual building. We be having merch out there when it's warm. People can come in, they can use the laser shooter, they can shoot all types of stuff. Classes going on. We want to buy the building. I want to give a shout out to the landlord. Landlord is very private, and I want to be very clear. The landlord has been super patient with us. I mean, it's been times where it's been tight. And, I know he wanted to rip our heads off, but he's been super supportive. So I want to make sure we raise all the money and get that bread to him ASAP. Eli, appreciate you, Eli. Eli with the first $20 super chat at $10. We're going to get into the show, y'all. I just like to get a lot of the homework and shit out of the way first, right? So we can flow into the show. Eli's the first. If we can get 9 more people at the $20 level, that would be great. That would be awesome. Thank you guys tremendously for that. But all of those resources goes towards our work and keeping the machine going. All right. So let's start to read. Let's start to read. Okay, guys. The Atlantic releases a signal chat showing Pete Hegseth. For those of you that are not aware, Pete Hegseth was a Fox News contributor, military man, and he was Trump's appointee to run things over there. Okay. The signal chat showed Hegseth's detailed attack plans against the Houthis. Now, if you don't know who the Houthis is, you got a lot more information to just look up into. Join the Solutionary 9, and we'll make sure that you get that information on the Houthis. You definitely should pick up Scott Horton's book. You should go over to antiwar.com. That gives you a solid breakdown of a lot of the information as far as the Middle East conflict and things of that nature. So just for folks, we try to make sure that when you're watching the show, we are giving information and we're discussing things that go in solutions. So antiwar.com is ran by Scott Horton and a few other good folks, a lot of good information. Talking about these things is great. We always end the show with solutions to this situation, as well as we want to make sure that you guys are informing yourself. So real quick, I'm going to read this real quick. Craig Butler says on some real this will be my first time donating to anybody on YouTube, so I really don't know how to do it. Do you have a Cash App? No, I don't have. I do have a Cash App, but we try to keep everything transparent. So you can do a super chat on YouTube if you are on YouTube, and if not, just go to givesingo.com/solutionary. All right, whatever platform you're watching this on, or just shoot me an email or something. I'll send you the link. Whatever platform you normally follow me on, comment. Yo, Maj, what's the link? Give Singo is where it can be super transparent. Every single donation can be seen by everybody. Okay, so that's just that. Let's read this real quick, guys. The Atlantic, which is a news outlet, on Wednesday released the entire signal chat among senior national security officials, showing that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth provided the exact timings of warplane launches and when bombs would drop before the men and women flying those attacks against Yemen's Houthis this month on behalf of the United States were airborne. The disclosure follows 2 intense days during which leaders of President Donald Trump's intelligence and defensive agencies have struggled to explain how details that current and former U.S. officials have said would have been classified wound up on an unclassified signal chat that included Atlantic editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt has said no classified information was posted to the signal chat. Senator Roger Wicker, Republican of Mississippi, chairman of the Senate Arms Services Committee, said he and Rhode Island Senator Jack Reed, the committee's top Democrat, plan to send a letter to the Trump administration requesting an inspector general investigation into the use of Signal. They seek a classified briefing with the top administration official who can speak to the facts of the episode. Top military official was not included in the chat. Chat was also notable for who it excluded. The only military attendee at the Principals Committee, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Adam Christopher Grady is currently serving in that position in an acting capacity because Trump fired former chairman General C.Q. Brown Jr. in February. Let me stop right here for a quick second, y'all. And I want to tell y'all, I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about this. I love a red herring. If you don't know what a red herring is, okay, a red herring is when you got somebody chasing, sleight of hand, have somebody chasing this over here, but you're really doing something over here. Okay, I, for one moment, not 1 second, in my 1,000 years on the planet, do not believe that a signal chat with sensitive information was deliberately put on there. Okay. There's different types of comms. I just don't believe it. And again, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm objective. We solutionaries. We objective. Okay. To me, I find it extremely hard to believe that this situation is just on a signal chat. And don't get me wrong, I like Signal. Okay. I like Signal. I'm not tripping. But I don't think that this type of information, which isn't sensitive and it's not top secret, this will be trying to kill next week. Okay? I just don't think, even if Signal is used, I don't think that this is the real play. Okay? Now, GB said something very interesting here. GB just said, let's read it real quick. Hold on, not that one. I'm gonna get to yours. All right, current comment. GB says, our operators use Signal to communicate like this all the time. This is not out of the ordinary. Okay? This happens all the time. That's wild to me. That's wild to me. Because I personally don't, shit. Listen, if I put it on a social media app or a Signal, or I don't trust none of this shit. I don't trust none of it. And don't get me wrong, throw the VPN up on your server 100%, but I still don't trust nothing. When I started to see people were getting their Bitcoin seized and it's supposed to be unbreakable, and the federal government starts getting into people's Bitcoin, not a fan. I don't believe none of it. Now, I'm not saying that, you shouldn't have some level of security or just take certain different precautions and protocol. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this looks to me like Trump, right up Trump's alley. Okay, GB says he has family in the teams. So let me ask this. How does that happen from your perspective? How does that Atlantic reporter get tapped in on that Signal email? Because listen, I've sent the text to a shorty that I didn't mean to send to, and in my younger years, I might have sent the wrong shorty, the wrong text, and da, right? But how does this Atlantic reporter get dialed in on this? And I get it. They saying, hey, we're gonna send somebody, an inspector general, to have a conversation about this, and I'm not mad at it. But I just don't trust it at all. And I am a fan to err on the direction of, this looked like a red herring to me. To me. But those are two critical questions to me. One, is this a red herring? And two, if not, how does a fucking an Atlantic reporter, how did that person ever get in the Slack? How? Who said, hey, let's put a reporter in here? And here's another question. Is it unlawful or not for that particular Atlantic reporter, or even responsible on their part, to report it? That's the questions I want to talk about tonight. I want to hear y'all perspective. Again, this ain't Hollywood. Again, everybody, if you're tapping in, it's now 176 folks watching the show. Do a few things. One, repost it. Copy the link, paste it, let other folks know, especially if you're watching on X. Share the space all over the place, as well as comment and let me know where you're from. What city are you from? And I'll know what platform you're watching from when you comment in the chat. Okay? But these are the questions. Let's read a little bit more. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz was authorized to decide whether to include the Joint Chiefs Chairman in the Principals Committee discussion. Quote, based on the policy relevance of attendees to the issues being considered, the need for secrecy on sensitive matters, staffing needs, and no other considerations, end quote, the White House said in the January 20th memo. The Pentagon said it would not comment on the issue, and it was not immediately clear why Grady, currently serving as the president's top military advisor, would not be included in the discussion on military strike. This is why I'm like, if the fucking Atlantic journalist was involved, but the top fucking military advisor was left out, which is why I'm more inclined to believe this was the pump fake. This was the sleight of hand. And I'm not mad at the sleight of hand when it comes to national security issues. Now, let me be very clear. Bombing the Houthis and going on now, hit Syria, Yemen, all over again. One of the hallmarks and one of the better points of the Trump administration during his first term was the fact that he didn't get us and drag us into any new wars. Now, he sold the shit out of some, military weapons and the shit happening that we're not in Syria and Yemen. That still continued, but it didn't get us into any new wars. These are the things that start making me go like, look like man is it's like they foaming at the mouth to try to get us into Iran all over again. Okay. So I think that I'm not a fan of there being a certain level of secrecy around legitimate targets that we got to shoot. But I personally don't even think we need to be chasing Houthis, because the Houthis said they was going to start attacking Israel ships over there, and Israel's our ally, so we got to jump in the fray. Now, there's multiple arguments about that. I do not want to divulge or devolve into the conversation about, are we supporting Israel too much? Are we allowing, fucking Hamas and who, like, Israel themselves supported Hamas and all of those different things. Again, guys, if you want a more inclined and intelligent breakdown, go over to antiwar.com, please. Because that shit has been going on in the Middle East for a bajillion years, and you're not going to get it unpacked on one of the Maj 2 ratio episodes, right? So these are legitimate questions. So I'm a fan of secrecy when it relates to legitimate targets. But this, I mean, you got to ask this question. You get a top military aide left out of the Slack, the Slack communication or the signal communication, right? But somehow the Atlantic news reporter gets added in. Who fucking added him? This is wild. And if this is a big mistake, hey, now it starts to go, who leaked it? Because that's the question. It's still not telling me who actually leaked it. But Hegseth is in charge. Okay? Hegseth is in charge. And there was questions about Hegseth being solid in the position going into his confirmation hearings. It's just what it is. We gotta call it up the middle. You make a big mistake in it. Now, fortunately, they're saying that there was no really, really sensitive conversations in here. And okay, cool, fair. Okay, let's read it again. Let's read some more comments. GB says, it was either an honest mistake that the CIA is constantly running ops on the administration to try and catch him slipping. Now, I do not, in no way, shape, and form. I remember I read the Devil's Chessboard about the CIA and Dulles and all that other shit a bajillion years ago. Since then, I never fucking was like, why do we even have a CIA? Right? But saying that I don't have no question, or I don't, in no way, shape, or form do I have a speck of disagreement with that statement. None. You're cut off the funding for the USAID, which was the slush fund internationally for everything since the fucking 1960s. Right? So I'm not, I don't, in no way, shape, or form do I challenge that. GB also says, in my opinion, the Houthis did need to be handled. They mentioned today after the hearing, Iran isn't making nukes. And I'm glad that they saying it, because that's how we got tricked into going into Iraq a few, however many decades ago. Oh, the terrorists got weapons of mass destruction. That's why I was railing against everybody dick riding Elon and Trump going, oh, people that do an attack on a Tesla, they're domestic terrorists, because I know how the government do that. Y'all heard me rail on that for the last couple of days. We ain't got to go down that street. Okay? Who's this? Not necessarily the news says all actors. That's another question. I believe that not all of them, but there's a lot of acting going on in the space. It's a lot of acting. All right. And GB also says they big mad over USAID in Ukraine. Listen, and you said the same, took the words right out of my mouth after I said them. These are the questions that we have to genuinely ask ourselves as solutionaries as it relates to these things. Because I personally don't really know if I want to Slack communication about this. Y'all all in DC, right? And I get it. Some people Hegseth got to slide over to, Russia to holler at Putin about certain shit at certain points, or even Vance. So, I feel you. What's up, Gwerd? I feel you. But I mean, these are legitimate questions. If it's an honest mistake, how the fuck did it make a mistake? Let's read a little bit more. The Pentagon said it would not comment on the issue, and it was not immediately clear, again, why Grady, currently serving as the president's top military advisor, would not be included in the discussion on military strikes. Hegseth has refused to say whether he posted classified information onto Signal. He is traveling in the Indo-Pacific and to date has only scoffed at questions, saying he did not reveal, quote, war plans, end quote. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, the CIA Director John Ratcliffe, told members of the Senate Intelligence Committee on Tuesday that it was up to Hegseth to determine whether the information he was posting was classified or not. Very specific texts were revealed. What was revealed was jaw-dropping in its specificity and includes the type of information that is kept to a very close hold to protect the operational security of a military strike, which again, to me, if the top military aide isn't involved, and again, I might be out of the chain of command. I am not at national security. But Geopolitics is similar to the streets in certain areas. So I could be wrong on certain things, but to me, this SOP doesn't seem right. Is it somebody in the chat? Let me know. Is it SOP for y'all to leave the top military aid out of the conversation, but the Atlantic journalist gets in? Which is why I'm going, this is a red herring. This is I got you. Or something not even got you, like, yo, we might want to fuck you up just in case you guys want to catch wind about this. Or maybe this is the red flag to keep the CIA chasing those red herrings. I don't trust none of this shit. None. I want to tell y'all a quick story. I was just sharing this, you know, with the love of my life, right? I don't trust anything where guns and money is related. I am hopeful and optimistic, right? I am. But even if I double down, I'm gonna double down, because every time that I've made a mistake or not stuck to what the protocol actually should be, something, you know what I mean? I had to work around and fight through some shit. I always make out great and all of that. Let me be clear. But it's sometimes an extra couple of steps, time and resources that go into things that you could have not spent those time and resources and have to do those workarounds if you would have just stuck to the SOP. And to me, I don't give people, including the deep state and the CIA, when we're talking about NSA, CIA, bunch of alphabet agencies, I don't put nothing past nothing in that space. OG Tank says SOP can't be to use signal. Hey, GB just said, yo, GB said, nah, he got family that's on teams. Unless he's lying, I don't think there's no reason to lie in the solutionary. No, the solutionaries don't be lying about shit like that, right? No reason to lie in the Maj 2 ratio. But listen, don't get me wrong, Signal's some good shit, but I don't trust none of it. And if I don't trust none of it, and I don't even got $10 million, you know what I mean? I don't even got a tank. Y'all in control of the entire war machine. If I don't trust it, why do y'all? Big Rob says somebody said Pete Hegseth was a DUI hire. Shit was kind of funny. And that was my thought process too. If this was a legitimate mistake by Hegseth and his team, this reflects poorly on him. And that's why they was like, oh, he's a drunk, he's this, he's that, he drink on the job. This looked like you sending the wrong text to the wrong chick because you buzzing a little too heavy. That's what it looked like to me. And it gotta be one or the other. Who fucked up? But again, even if it wasn't Pete, you the leader. All of that shit fall on you. All of that shit fall on you. This is why I keep trying to push to fundraise, guys. Listen, we need about 70 more donors at the $100 level. I'm going to ask everybody, whatever platform you're watching this on, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, is more Facebook, X, or Instagram more specifically. If you're on my pages there, please watch my most recent post talking about our work and our fundraising and things like that. Because if the Solutionary Center, we failed to buy it, the owner has to sell it to somebody else, right? And we can't keep these classes going. It ain't nobody else's fault but mine. I failed to connect with y'all. I failed to get the fundraising goal. I failed to whatever. The shit rolled downhill, but that's your team down there, and you got to run down the hill and let the shit fall on you before it hits your team. So if Pete and his team let this happen, that shit fall on him. It fall on him. GB says, something smells for sure. Signal isn't the issue. That's the red herring, in my opinion. The story is why the most hostile reporter was in that group. To me, that's what I'm saying. To me, I don't see that level of a mistake in that hostile. I do a lot of hostile media. They just stopped asking me to do shows because they can't get me. Hostile media, leftist media, anti-gun media doesn't have acts to have me on. That's why we building our own island. Monday through Friday, YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, the Maj 2 ratio, y'all. I work for y'all. We building our own island because once them companies or the hostile media start to recognize that they can't trick you, once they recognize that, they stop asking you questions. We was raising way more money for our building and the work when hostile media was asking me dumbass questions. 1,000%. You know why? Because common sense people would go like, this dude makes sense. This person is stupid. So again, the red herring to me is, how is the fucking Atlantic reporter even in the Signal group? Signal is like encrypted all the way, right? Person to person, peer to peer type shit. Okay, ain't no screenshots popping. Okay, my point in saying this, I think you could screenshot because you can just hold another phone. But my point in saying that is, how does this person even get in that joint? To me, that looks like a red herring. To me, it looks like if it make it to a screen, they want you to believe that it's on the screen. That's just me. Believe what's on the screen. Okay, it's just what it is. Big Rob says, how about they just get back to having these types of meetings in person? Text wasn't always available. And I said this earlier. I'm going to go back to that. Media Maniac Network says, because it was part of the plan. That's what I'm inclined to believe. Unless Pete really just be getting drunk and damn near drunk texting and oops. There's a great movie called Thank You for Smoking. How many, if you thought Thank You for Smoking, let me know in the comment section. Okay? Let me know in the comment section. It's a great movie. Nick Naylor, who was a PR person for Big Tobacco, this reporter wanted to talk to him. And they wound up sleeping together. And she reported all of this shit that he talked about. He slipped. He broke SOP. Standard. Right? And when he broke the standard, he low-key, she put all the information out there because he was drunk off of sex because they slept together. And it's like a comedy. It's like a dramatic comedy. But anyway, that's why I'm saying to you, it's like, nah, this look like this is some, either this is the red herring, and you, or you messed up somewhere and you slipped and somebody died. Signal is approved by the CIA. I'm telling you, I don't trust none of this shit. This is why we have to have these conversations, because I've been watching people on the right start to believe some of the silly shit that I'm seeing. I have been railing damn near all week about people saying the media said they found a bomb at the Tesla plant in northwestern Austin, Texas, where Tesla is headquartered. And the stocks is starting to drop a little bit. The FBI doesn't even tell you what type of incendiary device it was. They don't tell you the video. They don't tell you nothing. So we read this on a newspaper article and we go, yeah, there's a those guys are domestic terrorists. That's why there was a bomb at the Austin dealership. You don't fucking know. Media works in conjunction with the state. We saw this all from COVID. So I'm not going to ignore that when this story comes out. Come on. I'm not going to do that. We as solutionaries are not supposed to do that. Let's read another article here. Okay. This is where Ratcliffe is talking about his signal texts didn't transfer classified information. Okay. Ratcliffe, that's the CIA director. And again, Signal is approved by the CIA. It's approved by the CIA. Come on. Now, if it's just you wanting you and your homies and you don't want your girl to get in your phone, cool, I get it. They got FBI, the girls got FBI level investigatory skills, but they may not have, or your dude, whatever. They might not have the ability to break the fucking signal joint. So I'm with you on that, right? But to act like the CIA and the NSA don't, come on, bro. And they tied in directly with fucking Elon and the satellites. And come the fuck on. Speaking of which, I'm trapped in an RV, guys. Still fundraising. Trying to go 90 days. We're trying to get it done before that. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. If you get some value from the conversation, if you get some sharpened talking points, we're going to talk about some solutions tonight, right? As it relates to these things. But we're going to go over this hot topic. But if you get some value, guys, we have already had 2 folks donate super chats. We try to get 10 folks. We had 2. Let's get 8 more. $20 super chats. If you can give more than that, that's great, right? But also, support the work, fundraising to buy our Solutionary Center. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Bookworm, if you can't throw it up in the chat so I can throw it up on the screen. If you guys can support, please do so. We try to get 10 folks, super chats, or donations at $20. That's $200, right? Obviously, right? $200, 5 times a week. $1,000 that goes towards the work. But also, if you can give at GiveSendGo.com/solutionary, if you can give at the $100 level, you get access to the Solutionary 9 premium membership, lifetime, meal plans, shooting drills, all of the classes and curriculums. That's phlebotomy coming, plumbing, electrical, basic Bob stuff, right? Firearms basics, understanding imminent threat, civics. You get curriculums for all of those. All of that stuff's there and or coming, right? You get that for being a donor at the $100 level. So if you can, we need about 70 more at the $100 level so we can buy our solutionary center. We're really, really, really trying to push. So guys, givesgo.com/solutionary. Just want to keep doing that throughout the whole time and get some new merch. Oh, you already see the new tank top. The new tank top is dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. I'm gonna make myself bigger when I finish reading this so you guys can see all of the tank top. But anyway, CIA director of national intelligence, okay? John Ratcliffe, CIA Director John Ratcliffe said the signal chats published by the Atlantic Wednesday revealing the so-called, quote, attack plans targeting Yemen's Houthi rebels prove he, quote, did not transmit classified information, end quote. Ratcliffe, speaking during a House Intelligence Committee hearing on worldwide threats, told lawmakers, quote, now mind you, this is conveniently right after this shit, they just happen to have a House Intelligence Committee meeting. This is why I'll be like, nah, this shit is cat, right? Speaking during the House Intelligence Committee hearing on worldwide threats, told lawmakers, quote, with regard to that article, I also would appreciate the opportunity to relay the fact that yesterday I spent 4 hours answering questions from senators as a result of that article that were intimating that I transmitted classified information because there were hidden messages. Quote, end quote, end quote. Those messages were revealed today and revealed that I did not transmit classified information and that the reporter, who I don't know, I think intentionally intended it to indicate that, Ratcliffe continued. Quote, that reporter also indicated that I had released the name of an undercover CIA operative in that signal chat. In fact, I had released the name of my chief of staff who is not operating undercover. That was deliberately false and misleading. Do you hear that? That was deliberately false and misleading. Quote, I used an appropriate channel to communicate sensitive information. It was permissible to do so. I didn't transfer any classified information. And at the end of the day, what is most important is that the mission was a remarkable success, is what everyone should be focused on here. But because that's what did happen, not what possibly could have happened, he also said. I'm going to read a little bit more of that because that's just in a second. That's just a breakdown of what was typed. This upcoming right here. I'm going to read some more of that in a second. I'm not worried in my thought process that, because this did not compromise the mission. Okay. And again, I'm saying compromise the mission. I don't think we should be doing a lot of that shit. I think Houthi said they was going to start targeting Israeli ships over there again in the waterways. And then we jumped up to defend just like we do for fucking everybody in NATO. And we shouldn't be. So I want to be clear on that. Me articulating what happened does not mean that I am sanctioning or in support of these things. Okay? Let's read a little bit more real quick. Although there were no plans, at least it was out in the open, we need to be more worried about what info Swalwell gave to the Chinese chick. Listen, I love the fact that there's a separation of powers between the executive and legislative. When you're going to war to bomb people, some of these things should be communicated as far as war plans in person. It's just like the street. That's what I'm telling y'all. The room is cleared and clean. It's only need to know basis motherfuckers in the room, right? Or outside. Never. The rule in the street is we don't talk in the car. We don't talk in the house. We find a neutral location to have a conversation that's sterile. I would imagine that the fucking most powerful military in the world understands that concept. So I don't think that war plans would just haphazardly be leaked like this. I believe that it's a red herring or the double switch. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is with the goofball ass Atlantic journalists. They're going to put it out on Wednesday. Motherfuckers going to be like, there's no way that this gets out. And that's exactly, it's this fucking chess game that questions could be endless. But the reality is we'll never fucking know whether if it was a mistake or whether it was not. We're not going to know. 243 folks, 245 folks in the chat watching right now. Guys, I want everybody, if you just tapping in, what's up? Welcome to the Maj 2 Ratio. We do this Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Couple 30, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour if we get real spicy in the joint. Okay? I want you guys to comment and let me know where you're from. Tell me where you from. Put it in the chat. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. This ain't a game out here. Support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Subscribe and like. Subscribe and like. If you're watching it on X, you should subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching it on YouTube, you should follow me on X and Facebook. If you're watching this on Facebook, I don't even fucking know because Facebook is still censored over that joint. Like they still FBI, CIA over there. Shit, they got tighter security on the words than Hegseth and them had. Let's read a little bit more. I'm gonna jump over the art what it said. Y'all know it said strike drones, hit the target, da 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 da. GB's from Middle Tennessee. What's up? Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard vowed during the Senate Intelligence Committee hearing Tuesday that there was, again, no classified material in the message. Quote, my answer yesterday was based on my recollection or the lack thereof on the details that were posted there. What was shared today reflects the fact that I was not directly involved with that part of the signal chat and replied at the end reflecting the effects, the very brief effects that the National Security Advisor had shared, end quote. Gabbard said Wednesday when asked about the manner. Quote, so it's your testimony that less than 2 weeks ago, you were on a signal chat that had all of this information about F-18s and MQ-9 Reapers and targets on strike. And you, in that 2-week period, simply forgot that was there. That's your testimony? End quote. Ranking member Hines, Democrat from Connecticut, asked her. My testimony is that I did not recall the exact details of what was included there, Gabbard said. That was not your testimony. And then motherfuckers start going back and forth. To me, this is why I'm telling y'all we never going to really know the answer. We're not going to know the answer. Now, what can we glean from this? I got one more article. I'm going to jump off this, John. I'm going to go to the one about, again, from Yahoo News. This one is what we all want to know the answer to. Because I want to know the fucking answer to this. I want to know, as a tax-paying American, a sovereign individual, that y'all trying to tax us 30-40%. I need to know this right here. Signal leak fallout continues. The Atlantic publishes Trump official chat messages on Yemen strikes. The White House is scrambling to explain how members of the administration accidentally shared military plans with a journalist on the group messaging app. That's what the phrase that pays. That's the $100 million question. Okay? What happened exactly? The Atlantic's editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, revealed in an article published on Monday that he knew about U.S. airstrikes against Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen hours before they happened, because he was added to a signal group, that chat, where members of the Trump administration appeared to be discussing such war plans. He was added. I hope they say who fucking added him. Goldberg said he received the signal connection request on March 11th from someone whom he believed to be Michael Waltz, President Trump's national security advisor. 2 days later, Goldberg said he was added to a conversation with 18 members of the administration, including Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, and Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, where they talked about plans to bomb Yemen. The U.S. and naval assets hit multiple Houthi targets in Yemen March 15th. Goldberg said he initially did not believe the signal chat group was real. Quote, I could not believe that the national security leadership of the United States would communicate on signal about imminent war plans, he wrote. End quote. End, quote again. I have never seen a breach quite like this. And starting quote again. It is not uncommon for national security officials to communicate on signal. That's what GB said. Goldberg added, but the app is used primarily for meeting planning and other legit matters, not for detailed and highly confidential discussions of a pending military action. And of course, I've never heard of an instance in which a journalist has been invited to such a discussion. I want y'all to tell me in the chat, do you really believe that this shit was a stumble of that magnitude? I find that fucking shit hard to believe. And if it did happen, I am more I mean, obviously it happened. But I'm more inclined to believe that the deep state, maybe not even Ratcliffe, the head of the CIA, because it ain't always the head that run Hydra. You feel me? Maybe it was the deep state that was like, put this out there and let's see what happens. Or maybe it was just like, look, we could get at you motherfuckers whenever we want. You thought you was chopping it up on signal all comfortable? We the deep state. We've murdered presidents. That seems more plausible to me. Brothers Keeper says cap. What you mean? What part of his cap to you, bro? I think it's like I just don't. Come on, man. Yo, add main man to. That's almost like you and the homies from an urban perspective. Now, ladies that's in the chat, please don't get offended, because there might be some ladies too, male or female, group chat. Y'all plotting on the shorty who gonna get her first, y'all da 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 2, 3 of the homies, and then somebody randomly adds homegirl to the group chat. Huh? There's some questions involved. There's some questions involved. Hard to believe they're that dumb. I don't put no level of unintelligence from the government, but this is a different level of whatever. That would bypass all of my disdain for the intelligence of most governmental officials. It's so unbelievable. It's so unbelievable. What was the reaction from the White House? White House National Security Council spokesperson Brian Hughes said in a statement that the message thread described by Goldberg, quote, appears to be authentic and that Security Council officials were reviewing how an inadvertent number was added to the chain. Added to the chain. Then Trump first told reporters on Monday that he knew nothing about the incident. Then in a phone interview with NBC News, the president said he stood by Waltz. Quote, Michael Waltz has learned a lesson and he's a good man, Trump said. The president suggested that a member of Waltz's staff accidentally added Goldberg to the group. Speaking to the reporters at the White House Tuesday, Trump disparaged Goldberg and The Atlantic, calling the editor a total sleazebag and the 167-year-old publication a failed magazine. See, that's what Trump always do. Trump knows how to like discredit. And then somewhere later on, I heard he said Signal might be a broken app. It might be compromised. If you guys don't know, Telegram was pressed by the deep state and the French authorities to make their back ends of pause, right? To the deep state, France's deep state and America's deep state. Okay? They want them back doors. The solutionary group is Telegram. Okay? I remember the first person that tried to get me on Signal, and I ain't trust him either. It was the actor that I had beef with years ago. That actor tried, let's communicate on Signal. And I was like, the fuck? I said, bro, I don't even fuck with phones like that. That was my first introduction to Signal. He tried to get me to be on that shit. If you followed me long enough, you know exactly who I'm talking about. I ain't gonna mention his name because I don't like fucking mentioning clowns. Okay? But listen to what Media Maniac said. Imagine that. America's downfall begins with secrets being shared on the app. Some Simpson shit. Schumer said it. The intelligence agencies have 6 ways from Sundays of getting back at you. Listen, y'all fuck with the money. And when you want to fight, expect contact. When this administration started gutting, along with Elon, started gutting USAID. I don't think a lot of people understand how corrupt and deep USAID actually is. USAID was around since the fucking Kennedy Senior administration. Okay? It is a slush fund, for lack of a better term. They are the term. They are a slush fund. Okay? The dirty money need to happen? Cool. That's the slush fund to do it. So you start going after the money instead of just the culture war. You now are in a war. In a fight, expect contact. And if it's a light jab, just to let you whatever know, cool. Brothers Keeper says, why use an app for comms? Certain levels of comms for that space, because it's supposed to only be about, the meeting gonna be at 7 o'clock, bro. It ain't, the shorty with the thick John, and I'm gonna meet her at this address. No, we're gonna chop it up and meet at the bar at 7. Right? It ain't the super detail. It's like a more secure form of Slack, but more secure. Okay? It's encrypted. Okay? Listen to what GB says. Wasn't highly classified, because it wasn't. Which makes me go, they was just, I'm going to jab you a little bit. Don't get it fucked up. We the deep state. GB says, wasn't highly classified. I still lean that this was a deep state setup. Hegseth was a warfighter, and Tulsi has been active in the reserves for years. This app is commonplace. If they don't tell us who put such and such in the chat, they like, damn, they got at us. And they just want to play it off. Oh, this might be Signal. Signal fucked up. Oh, the Atlantic is horrible. Trump is the master of spin. Have you looking over here? Trump names people things to get them to fight out of the name that he named them first. We talked about this last night. I call him Mini Mike. Pocahontas. Now they arguing against the word. Everywhere they go, people calling him Pocahontas. It's like when Stone Cold Steve Austin started saying, what? Anybody that Steve Austin didn't like, when they came into the auditorium, all of the fans that didn't like that person was like, what? Every time they said something to just be annoying. Okay? So Trump going to do the spin, but ain't nobody answering the question. I'm going to read a little bit more of this and we're going to wrap up, right? Because I don't see the answer. Nobody's answering the question of who put the fucking journalists in the Slack. Okay? That's what it is. On Wednesday, White House reporters asked Trump which members of his administration bore responsibility for the chat. Quote, it was Mike, I guess. I don't know, Trump responded. When pressed on Hegseth's role in the scandal, the president did not seem fully briefed on the fact that his defense secretary had shared sensitive information on Signal. Quote, how do you bring Hegseth into it? He had nothing to do with it, end quote, Trump said. What have people on the Signal group chat said? We're going to go into that. Right? I take full responsibility. I built the group, Walt says. My job is to make sure everything's coordinated. But Waltz also said he doesn't know how Goldberg was added to the chat. I can tell you 100% I don't know this guy, Waltz said, adding that he had spoken to Elon Musk for help in finding out what happened. Because Elon and his nerd ass, he can find out. All of them tech motherfucking Indian H-1 visa trying to get motherfuckers or oh, them dorks know. The geeks is on it. If it's real, and they like, we don't know where the fuck this came from. Elon will fuck around and be on a podcast and tell everybody, this motherfucker right here did it, and this how they did it, and this why they did it. So I like that answer. Appearing before the Senate Intelligence Committee on Tuesday, Gabbard and Ratcliffe were grilled by Democrats over the breach. Guys, them fucking Senate hearings, it's a way for Democrats to be hard on the Republicans and whatever agencies that they in, and vice versa, so they can get the clips to fundraise and look like they hard on the opposition, political opposition. It's not about finding out what's actually best for America. So take that as entertainment and a grain of salt at best. You feel me? Grilled by Democrats over the breach, what they both sought to downplay. Okay. During the House Intelligence Committee hearing Wednesday, Gabbard acknowledged the inclusion of Goldberg on the Signal chat that was a mistake, but said no classified information was shared. Okay. Nobody was texting war plans, Hegseth said. And that's all I have to say about that. He reiterated those comments on Tuesday. Deny, admit nothing, deny, make counter accusations. All of my military homies understand that. Confirm nothing, deny, make counter accusations. You got to argue like women argue. Deny, fucking confirm nothing, make counter accusations. That's Spook School 101. So I love that Pete's doing that. My team, my man took it. It was me because I put the but I don't know about that, and that's all. And Pete, I don't know what happened, but nothing got da 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 da. And what's up with the bull at the Atlantic? What's up with that? You know what I mean? That's all. That's all. During a news conference in Kingston, Jamaica on Wednesday, Rubio said he hoped there'll be reforms and changes made so it's not going to happen again. It can't. Listen. The Atlantic is a leftist magazine. So it's just, they're going to run with it. Oh, y'all fucked up. Y'all horrible. They're not going to take any accountability. They're not going to say, damn, we might have reported something that might have got a whole situation done up. They're not going to do that. They're going to say they shouldn't have put us in. And they have a leg to stand on. But the bigger issue here is us just making sure that we understand what's going on and what we can pull from this. Listen here, solutionaries. I want to say this. We're going to start to wrap up. I want to say this to everybody. This is the most important thing from this tonight. We are solutionaries. We don't leave the Maj Toure show without talking and discussing solutions. One, your team needs to be fucking tight. Every single member of this team, I believe that they getting tagged by the deep state. In my opinion. In my opinion. Okay? Everybody smash the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button as we wrap out, guys. All right? This is my opinion. Okay? In my opinion, because I'm not in this room. I've been to the Pentagon once. I'm not interested in going back to the Pentagon. They got a bag of money for me. Right? Yeah, maybe the Pentagon will help us buy the Solutionary Center. But anyway, everybody on this team got right in protocol. I believe that they all know that they got hit and tagged and just lightly jabbed by the deep state. Oh, you think you're communicating on signal? You getting comfortable? We can fuck with you at any given moment. We're going to add this dickhead to the group. Right? Either they telling the truth and they got tagged and they like, we don't know how it happened, but it ain't going to happen no more. And the first person goes, it's my bad. I'll take full responsibility. Everybody else confirms nothing, denies, and makes counter accusations. Your team, you need to have a team, because this, if it doesn't tie into you as a solutionary and what we can pull from this, is no point in me talking about this shit with y'all. The only reason why we talk about topics on the solutionary, with solutionaries, on the Maj Toure show, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m., is to glean information from it for our squad. Y'all are my squad. Okay? Your team. We got a Telegram group. Okay? Everybody in there is dialed in. We working out. We counting our macros. We drinking water. We not overindulging. We cutting our vices. Your team got to be dialed in. And when it's a break in the protocol and the standard, your team still got to stand tall. That's what the most powerful military in the world does. Sometimes they do it to a fault because they don't want to share information with the general public. Sometimes it's information that they should. But if you are a stand-up person, you got to stand tall with your team. And you need to be a part of a team. The fucking lone wolf, that's some cute shit to say when it comes down to a shooter. But lone wolves don't live long, bro. You need a team. So your team needs to be dialed in on the same page, and they need to understand what the SOP is. And when you have a little slight rattling by the energies outside to try to block you off that freedom and liberty shit, you need to 1000% reevaluate, find out where the cancer is, and cut that shit out. I posted today, very early in the day, and I said, the demons will try to operate through your loved ones at times. It's like the movie Fallen with Denzel Washington. Azazel operated through touch. It was a demon that operated through touch. It could move from one person to the next. And that person didn't know what they did when the demon was operating their body. Those energies will try to operate through friends, family, loved ones. And you got to cut that cancer out. You got to disengage. You got to disengage. Shake, man, listen, don't even engage that energy that way. Shake energy off and move forward. Cut it out. I hear somebody in the solutionary, new jack to the solutionary non-telegram group, coming in there with too much rah-rah negative energy. We cut them, shoot them a DM. Yo, bro, you being a little too negative. Challenge each other to move forward. We all on the same team. We operate and fight as a single fucking phalanx. Y'all see the movie I'm watching over there? 300. Effiantes. If you got an Effiantes in your crew, I can't use them. We move as a single impenetrable force and defending from the knee to up here. You can't even lift your motherfucking arm up. I can't use you for this. Beware of the Effiantes that's around. This team, to me, sounds like there's a deep state Effiantes around. Root out the Effiantes, cancerous ass energy, Azazel energy from your crew. Root it out. And then lastly, get right back to standard operational procedure and step that shit up even more so. You had a chink in your armor. You're fortunate to identify it. Identify where it came from. If it was unintentional, tighten up. In the gang world, they call that, yo, you need to be DP. You need to be DP. In the like literally, Bloods and Crips gang world, you did some fucked up shit and it was a misrepresentation of your fucking set, of your crew. You need to be DP, disciplined, right? And then if you stay in the fold, you're going to have to get the understanding of what came from that and how that could have fucking potentially got us fucked up for a minute. So when you see somebody's unintentional, you got to give them some extra work to do. You got to make sure that they get some discipline for that shit. Okay? We move as a single operating phalanx of fighters as solutionaries. That's our job. That's what we learn from this right here. And lastly, make sure that you're consistent. Make sure that you're consistent. Get the squad, get the SOP, find the weak links, strengthen the weak links. If they bullshit links, get them the fuck out. If they cancer, cut them the fuck out. Tighten up even more and move forward with consistency. Thank you all for tapping into the Maj Toure Show. I will see you all tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. YouTube.com/Maj Toure. Facebook. Guys, before you leave, 2 things. Share the show. Share the show all over the place. Share the space all over the place. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 35,000 subscribers. YouTube.com/Maj Toure. Regardless of what platform you're watching it on, subscribe to the YouTube channel. As well as everybody, that link right there. It's in the comment section. It's right there on the thing. If you're watching this on X, it's my pinned post up there. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. We need 70 more donors at the $100 level to hit our next benchmark. That's what our focus is. If you are $100 donor, we're going to get you access to that group that I talked to you about. You get access to that group. You get meal plans, workout routines, shooting drills, curriculums, classes, all the stuff. That one, for you donating at the $100 level, help us. You get access to that for the rest of your life. That ain't no monthly shit. That's one time. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Be a $100 donor. Get access to the Solutionary non-membership group and the chat and all that other good stuff, as well as you get a 15% commission. You get a link to sell the merch. Sell the merch. If y'all can see that. Sell the merch. Dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. New tank tops in. Spring and summer is here. I appreciate you all. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Be a $100 donor if you can. Get the membership. If you can't, give it whatever level you can. Share the space all over the place. I will see you all tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. Be safe. Be solutionary.